Not everybody's truth is beautiful. Not everybody's truth is succinct and pretty. So we do all have our own perceptions of things, but that doesn't mean it's the truth. There is already a standard set before us that takes the hard work away from us. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and also welcome if you are new. I'm so grateful to have you all here. So my name is AkuaB, and here on this channel I cover all things faith, culture and encouragement. And in today's video, as you can see from the thumbnail or the title, I'm going to be reacting to a Matt Walsh video, and it's talking about fat not being healthy. So I'm so interested to get into this. I saved it onto one of my playlists to watch later a few days ago actually, so it's actually really relevant to what I'm talking about now, which is gluttony, etc., and this whole sphere of things. So I really wanted to actually react to this video and take a more biblical perspective on it instead of just a worldly cultural perspective on this issue as well. So before we get into that, as per usual, I just want to quickly encourage you to leave a like down below on today's video, and also comment something that you're enjoying from my reaction or this video, something that I said, or leave your deductions down below. What do you think about the video? What do you think about my reaction? Leave down below some things for me to comment on and react to in future as well. And if you haven't already, then please make sure to subscribe to this channel and also turn on that notification bell so you never miss a new upload. And without further ado, let's get into the reaction. Okay, so before we get straight into this reaction, I just wanted to give a bit of background of what I know about this channel, about this video, etc. So all that I know about this channel, about Matt Walsh, is that he's a more conservative Republican commentator in the US, and he talks about cultural and political issues. And this, I think, is one of the more hot topics that he talks about fat positivity and the body positive movement and all of this stuff. He's very into all of the progressive movements and actually making commentary on them. I've not seen all his videos. I don't know if I agree with everything he says, but it'll be interesting to watch this video because it's relevant to what I've been talking about recently on gluttony and my own experiences with it. So let's get straight into the reaction.
So the first month of the new year usually means big business for the fitness industry. People across the country are looking back at our previous year, reflecting on the collective hours and days spent lying around like slugs, consuming 3 times as many calories as we burn off on a good day, our waistlines expanding to blimp-like proportions, feeling the fleeting pangs of guilt for all of this.
Wow, he really called us all out over Christmas and New Year's. I feel that's literally such a accurate description of what we all go through. Well, majority of us. There's so much food, so much celebration, and yes, it's great to celebrate, but yeah, we definitely do overindulge in some instances over the holiday season.
Remembering that both sloth and gluttony are deadly sins, and thus
I didn't even have to say it. He's already brought it up. He's already brought it up.
Resolving to finally begin engaging in some form of physical movement in the year ahead. Of course, the problem is that once we embark on our new health and wellness quest, we discover that exercise is, difficult. And worst of all, it takes up time that can be better spent watching TikTok videos. And so the resolve dies away and the gyms empty out as quickly as they were filled. Though most of the people who abandon their gym routines still continue paying their membership fees, hoping that at least being a dues-paying member of a gym might, count for something, as if heart disease will see their membership card on their keychain and pass them over on that basis alone. The fitness industry does not need you to actually get healthy and fit. It just needs you to see health and fitness as at least theoretically desirable.
I think, like I said, obviously he's equating health to size, and I do think that's definitely like one of the most prominent factors that you can use to indicate the health of somebody, but there's so many other factors, like I said, and then there's so many other factors why someone might not be fit, might not just be exercise, etc. So I definitely do agree with him saying that it is something that we need to change and that we need to actually get up moving, exercise some more, but that is not like the be all and end all. And again, from a worldly perspective, health equals looking good, but also we need to factor in our spiritual, mental, emotional, physical health into just the appearance of things. Like I said in my video, I did struggle a lot with appearance in my teens, but then coming into a more holistic viewpoint of health and appearance now is so much more important than just one factor.
But what happens when these things, health and fitness and general physical wellness, can no longer be presented as even theoretically desirable? That's when you end up with absurdities like the latest issue of Self magazine. Now, Self is an online publication allegedly focused on health and beauty and owned by the same mega corporation that gives us Vogue, The New Yorker, GQ, Vanity Fair, Wired, pretty much every other magazine in existence, it would seem. Self's first issue of 2022 looks so on the nose, so perfectly representative of all of the foibles of wokeness that you might at first think it's some kind of intentional self-parody. And it is self-parody, but it's just not intentional. As you can see on the cover here, it features an obese woman in...
Wow. It's interesting because there's a scripture that says that we'll see good as evil and evil as good. And I can definitely see the way that the world is 100% just avalanching towards that so fast. And it's not even a thing of vilifying different sizes. It's a thing of actually looking towards health and actually looking at that in a healthy perspective. I think some people are trying to manipulate the actual undertone and the meaning of words to change them to suit themselves. And that is when you end up in deception. That's when you end up actually deceiving yourself, and you're not actually going towards health, you're going towards yourself. Ooh, okay. But you're going towards yourself, you're not actually, and it's called Self. The magazine itself is called Self. How much more selfish and self-centered can you get that it's actually called Self? And this is what the Bible tells us, obviously, to run away from yourself, because self is a thing that brings us into sin, whereas chasing after the person of Christ, chasing after that and trying to be Christ-like, it means dying to our flesh. And I think in the world, in culture, people would like to put their experiences of what is right and true as fact and justify that as well. So something that might not necessarily be healthy is now being promoted as healthy, and that's just such a disruptive thing, not only to the cognizance of younger children, but also to just wider society in general. There's so many implications that that come from and stem from leading an unhealthy life. And you don't even have to be like really overweight. It's just maybe starving yourself or not eating enough calories. So it can be either side of the spectrum.
In spandex, along with the headline, "The Future of Fitness." And one wonders if the next issue will have a picture of a square with the headline, "The Future of Circles," or the number 5 with the headline, "The Future of 2 plus 2." In any case, the subheadings on the cover promise to give us more information about, quote, "the relentless reality of anti-fatness in fitness," and, quote, "4 ways to respond to unnecessary encouragement at the gym." Yeah, you know, all those bullies at the gym that encourage you. An introductory article by the editor-in-chief, Lita Shai, explains the point and purpose of this health magazine's new focus on promoting obesity. She writes, quote, "In this digital issues, articles, and essays, when we say future, we're not talking about the latest fitness trackers or streaming workout equipment. We're talking about the people who are changing the landscape of an industry that has, for too long, excluded many. Over the past few years, thanks to the body positivity movement, as well as other thoughtful explorations that have challenged complacent ideas about weight and size, we've seen an important shift in how we discuss larger bodies. But fitness spaces can be a final frontier in a particular strain of body discrimination, where anti-fat bias and weight-related stigma are entrenched in our collective understanding of what it means to be fit. It's time to break free from this limited view. The future of fitness is about making space for everyone to feel welcome. So in this package, we're celebrating the people who are helping get us there." Now, clicking through to discover the whole package, we find articles with titles like, quote, 12 pieces of running gear that can make running in larger bodies more comfortable. Now, I know what can make running in larger bodies more comfortable, a salad. But I'm guessing that doesn't make it on the...
I think that this is a very like cut and dry approach to health and weight. Obviously, I was going into the caveats a bit more in my videos on gluttony previously. But there are bigger people that exist. You can't just ignore them. I think that there definitely needs to be some kind of provision for that, but then also an encouragement to become more physically healthy. And whether that is addressing mental, emotional, spiritual issues, that also needs to be done. But yeah, I do think there's a space and there's an area that needs to still be catered for the bigger sized people, because they can't just wake up overnight and then be a smaller size. Like, that's just not, you can't assimilate someone into a smaller size just because you berate them about it.
Other titles: here's how to find a gym that's size friendly. And quote, these 10 people are challenging how the fitness industry treats fatness. And then, how to feel confident at the gym when you're starting out, according to 12 larger-bodied exercisers. Now, please note the updated PC lingo here. A fat guy at the gym is no longer a fat guy at the gym. He is now a larger-bodied exerciser. If all of this doesn't sound inane enough, then how about this headline? 6 things fitness instructors should do to become a better fat ally. And, quote, 7 seemingly empowering body-positive phrases that actually reinforce ableism. And then my favorite, 7 ways to repair your relationship with movement. Now, I love that last one.
Wow, that's just like, that is crazy to hear, honestly. I mean, I get it for if you've literally been debilitated for a period of time, but like, I'm guessing that this is obviously a more extreme headline where it's trying to like be appeasing to the fat positive, etc. movement. And I do think there's an area where it is kind of stigmatized, because I think people have been hurt in a way that's like, they've been so hurt, and I can even relate to that, being so hurt by the body image trends and culture that you just don't want to even participate in it altogether. But then also just completely removing yourself from it is chosen ignorance. So choosing to just be kind of passive about exercise, passive about health, passive about all of these different things, and expecting to just mold them into a different terminology to suit you is also a bit like, like that's not going to work for you either. That's just deception. Instead of harsh truth, you've then flipped the script to delusion and deception.
Provides a very useful framework for laziness, which of course is what all of this is really doing. But now when my wife asks me for a third time to get off the couch and go take the garbage cans out, I can just say, sorry, honey, I'm really working on my relationship with movement right now.
Wow.
We decided to take some time apart, and it's for the best. Can you bring me another beer, by the way? I need you to be a fat ally, honey. Now, it's easy enough to laugh at all this because it's so interminably stupid, but unfortunately, this stuff doesn't just live on Tumblr blogs and weird internet forums anymore. This is a health magazine published by one of the largest media companies on the planet. Imagine if Men's Health put out an issue on alcoholism, but every article just encouraged you to keep drinking as much booze as you want. 6 things you can do to be a better binge drinker ally.
I think this is what I was saying when I said that the world will start to call good evil and evil good, because people are now trying to like flip the script and make things seem as if they're something that they're not, and you cannot make a juxtaposition something that bodes well together. Like it just doesn't go together. I would get it if it was a different type of magazine, but if it's a health magazine, promoting the way the things that they're promoting in that magazine is just doesn't seem to be coherent with the message. So that's definitely a bit of a side eye at that one, because yeah, when people, seems like they've been won over or persuaded into a certain thought path, like a certain mentality, because of like peer pressure of society to be like, you need to accept this, you need to do this, and therefore they've then adapted that and created this issue. But it's not truth, it's deception. So it's not really helping people.
Here's how to find an AA meeting that's BYOB. These 10 drunk drivers are challenging how the court system treats impaired driving. For now, anyway, though this could change as we continue our slide down the slippery slope, everyone would agree that such content would be not only ridiculous but harmful, evil even, as it would actively encourage people to destroy themselves. It's like finding a suicidal man standing at the edge of the roof and shouting, "You should totally jump if you want to. Don't let anyone judge you if you jump. Maybe you can fly. Only one way to find out." And this is why, of course, fat acceptance will never be anything but morally perverse and repulsive. It's like bulimia acceptance, or the acceptance of people who cut their wrists. To love someone is to...
That's interesting that he's using so many extremes to convey his thoughts towards this, and it's working. I'm like wincing. You saw me like wince, especially at the previous one about taking someone's life. Like, it, to a point, I can empathize with it. I can understand where he's coming from, because especially in the times that I've dealt with this and dealing with it, it can definitely seem that dire. And I think that people have kind of numbed themselves to this issue, and that's why I was saying it's a secret sin that people don't really talk about, because it is so normalized. I think that if any other sin were as normalized as gluttony, it would be just the same, and we'd have to have that resensitization to it. And I think that we have got to a point where we're very desensitized to gluttony.
To will their good, that is to help them towards what is good for them. But if you're helping them towards degradation, despair, and destruction, that's hatred, or at least indifference. This is also why obesity is not an identity. It's the erasure of identity. Both because it will kill you,
Yeah.
I mean, literally erasing you physically from existence.
Yeah. I even found out there's so many implications that go along with being unhealthy, such as fertility issues, your menstrual cycle might change as a woman. All these different things might change and be disrupted because of one area of your life that you're failing to address, and you're being ignorant in, or you're not being vigilant enough in. And then again, not saying that you need to be hyper vigilant and hyper aware and scrutinizing every single gram of food and drink that enters your body, but also being mindful of what goes into your body, because it is the vessel of the Holy Spirit. It's so important to actually look after these things, because there are consequences to our actions.
And also because it covers the defining parts of you. It will always be absurd to claim that a morbidly obese woman is physically beautiful. She's not, because her feminine features are covered in lard. I mean, you may as well say someone is most beautiful when they have a blanket over their heads. Beautiful in this context is a description of physical features. But morbid obesity overtakes all of your physical features, covers and destroys them, so that when you call a morbidly obese person physically beautiful, you must be describing the obesity itself as beautiful, which is to say that destruction and sickness are beautiful, which is itself a sick thing to say. This is the backwards world we find ourselves in when self-perception reigns supreme.
I think when he's talking about beautiful, he's talking about from a cultural perspective, because I don't think God loves you any more, any less, or thinks you're less beautiful or more beautiful based on your size. So I don't 100% agree with that. And I just don't think that's healthy or conducive to a healthy environment for somebody to actually be encouraged to make healthy change and progress in. But I do think definitely by society's standards, it's always been a bias against larger sized people, and that's just the way it is. And trying to change terminology or alter other people's perceptions of your own body, it just won't work out. It's not the same as actually being healthy and other people perceiving you as healthy. And that's holistically as well, not just appearance wise.
It's a problem we talk about often on this show because it lies at the root of almost everything that's going wrong in our culture. In a world where the ego is king, the job of everyone around you is to reinforce how you perceive yourself, or how you at least want to perceive yourself. Because you shouldn't have to conform yourself to any outside reality. There's no truth greater than your truth, your will, your ego. So if you want to feel healthy and beautiful, as everybody does, then society must simply declare that you are both of those things. It would be an act of unthinkable oppression for anyone to tell you that, though you want to be those things, you're not. Even if they lay out a plan and they promise to help you become what you want to be, if they say you're not those things right now, but you can be, here's how to do it, I'll help you, even that is oppressive. Because it implies that there's a truth and reality greater than the individual ego. Something that the individual must navigate through. Rules that he has to follow. And the modern narcissist simply cannot accept that. So he stares in the mirror, tells himself fairy tales about himself, and everybody plays along, cheering him on, and on, and on, and on, and all the way over the ledge.
Wow.
Hey, listen.
That is the end of the reaction, first of all. But wow, that is actually crazy, because that is so true about how the society, like I said earlier on, that people are kind of coming into a period where they're not even being vigilant about the truth, being knowledgeable, they're choosing to be ignorant. And I think that's so true, because obviously the Bible tells us there is the truth and not your truth, his truth, my truth, etc. So yeah, I do think people are being ignorant now, but there is an encouragement in that, knowing that you don't have to be stuck in that. Not everybody's truth is beautiful. Not everybody's truth is succinct and pretty. So we do all have our own perceptions of things, but that doesn't mean it's the truth. There is already a standard set before us that takes the hard work away from us. And that means that it's not our responsibility. God has already done that for us, because we couldn't do it for ourselves. He's already set that standard for us. He's already given us his perfect peace that abounds all understanding. So we don't even have to reach and try and attain perfection and truth for ourselves, because he's already done it for us. We just have to freely receive it as a gift by grace through faith. So I just wanted to leave you with that encouragement towards the end of this video, knowing that whatever you think about your body, because I think nowadays people say my truth, your truth, his truth, etc. as a way to kind of justify people's perceptions of reality. But some people's perceptions of reality are very depressing. Some people's perceptions of reality have been traumatized. And I know, because I've definitely been in that place. So I just wanted to encourage you, knowing that there is a God who has already provided truth and peace and covering for you, and he's wanting to bring you into a healthy space of recovery, and a space that doesn't bring judgment, but it brings healing, and it brings a process that is not easy, but it's also going to take you through the whole time of being changed and molded into something healthy. And there's peace that comes with that. Okay, so that is the end of today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you would like any more reactions such as this, please make sure to leave a like down below if you enjoyed it, because that helps it to just get bumped up in the YouTube algorithm, etc., and help more people to see it. And comment what you enjoyed from this video, from this reaction, anything that Matt said, anything that I said, and also subscribe if you haven't already to this channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another upload. And I'll catch you in my next one very soon. Stay blessed and bye.